Thank you very much for the introduction, especially the tackle part. One of my friends from South Africa once told me he was actually shocked. He went with his daughter to the stadium, and then the daughter was just so quiet when the game was, well settled. The daughter was so quiet. And then there was a massive hit, a clash of bodies. And then the daughter was cheering. So the guy was like, what? What's wrong? She was quiet all along. But anyway, my name is Raymond Kidiga. I'm an SAP consultant at 11 Degrees. At 11 Degrees, we are an AWS partner, sort of a cloud technology provider, and an AWS advanced partner. And one of our key offerings is migrations to the cloud. Welcome again. It's an honor to be here. I'm going to just quickly take us through what cloud offers and what cloud can be and what a strategy of migration from legacy to cloud looks like. I'm also going to borrow a leaf from my good friend Charles here and try not to be very technical. As he said, when you're from the trenches and then you're asked to speak, sometimes it's very easy to deviate into the trench terms, technologies, and stories. So, financial services, which most of you are, and technology. Charles mentioned this before. The world as it is right now, you can actually not separate financial services and technology. And the more the world grows and the more the years pass by, the more your customers are requesting for more innovation, the more you want to streamline your operations, the more you want to innovate, is the more we become more integrated into technologies. It's the more we become more reliant on technologies. During COVID time, or rather just before COVID happened, I was in SAP projects. And some of those projects, they have their own challenges. And then all of a sudden, I'm supposed to work from home. And in fact, when that lockdown happened, or rather when it started, I was on site, somewhere outside Nairobi. Then everyone is calling me, oh, the road is closed, this is closed, this is closed. Where are you going to pass? But throughout that COVID period, what really came up is businesses started to appreciate what cloud can do. Because all of a sudden now, all the meetings moved online, all the educations moved online, all the forums moved online. It now became a norm to do support for our clients online. And a few months before, you will tell someone, can we do this online? You say, no, you have to be on site. So what were the drivers behind this? What were the drivers behind this, both technological change, adoption, and even behavioral change of doing business? So with time, we started appreciating that. Now, these are the financial segments, majorly, that I'm going to talk about. I'll briefly go through this because I want to take some time to take you through our use case of our payment integration that we did with one of our partners, and so that you appreciate on the other end of your customers the impact of your cloud adoption and your innovation. So the financial segments, of course, that can utilize the cloud are banking, insurance, capital markets, and payments. So I'm going to take a bit of time on payments because as we are even in the Kenyan space, there's a lot of innovation around payments. There's a lot of innovation going around payment processing, recognition, securely processing of payments. And so what benefits do you have by adopting cloud services for your financial institutions? So you can increase your efficiency and become more agile, as Charles mentioned before here. Scalability is there, agility in terms of deployments. You can also accelerate innovation and speed to market. So when you're doing your developments or innovations, be they internal, be they external, how do you leverage the cloud to ensure that your deployment is seamless, it's agile, and you don't face those risk factors? Then you can deliver personalized, frictionless experiences. This is something that is really coming up. A few years ago, online banking was a huge concept. But then the conversation was like, your bank doesn't have online banking. How is that possible? Oh, you cannot chat with your bank. How is that possible? Now it's normal. Your customers actually expect these innovations. Your customers actually expect a bank to have online banking, to be able to chat, to be able to provide financial services online. I was actually surprised these days, most of the time when I want to open an account, be it in a financial institution, in a circle, or do my transaction, I actually don't have to go. I upload all my documents, then I do a verification, and I'm done. After a few hours or a few days, I have my account. I've not physically met the institution. So by the time I go there, I have my account, I have my services, everything is set up. So that's what your customers are actually expecting from you. So how do you leverage the cloud to reach to that place? Then of course, there's security and compliance. AWS infrastructure and services are actually built with security in mind. So of the myriad services that AWS offers and other cloud providers offer, security is a key component of these services, be it in the integration, be it in the leveraging of services, be it in calling of services. Security is key. So let me give you an example about personalized experiences. So I don't know how many of you here have been to somewhere called Vihiga County, somewhere in Western. That's where I grew up. Grew up in a very green village called Chekombero. I don't know if anyone might know it. Huh? But what I remember is I actually used to go with my grandmother to Posta for money order, ya chai. Who had that experience? Yeah? We used to go to, back then, was it Posta or Postbank? Kenya Post and Telecommunication. Yeah? So we used to go there and then we queue, then we fill in a paper, then we wait, then we are given our money. Then, of course, as I grew up, now we came to a place where it was normal for anyone to have an account. Because when I was young, very few people had an account. So the banking services were not as spread and widespread as they are right now. And then after a while, I was going to college. Then in the college sheet, I see you have to have an account. For you to get help, you have to have an account. So I realized, I can actually open an account. So I went to, my first bank was actually KCB, opened my account there, Mbale branches, somewhere there in the villages. Okay. Then I went through college, finished college, started working. Then all of a sudden, I remember the first time M-Pesa had taken off, then banking services had taken off, and then someone told me, why don't you have online banking? You're telling me you have to sneak off at lunchtime to go and withdraw cash. So online banking came in. Then I needed to open an account. I submitted most of my documents online. So as you can see, as the years goes by, this becomes expectations. It's normal for your customers to expect this. So Then looking at the cloud infrastructure. So what does AWS, I'll just quickly go through this. So what does AWS offer? So AWS is worldwide. So what does it offer for the banking and financial institutions? You can actually deploy you can take advantage of this geographical reach and deploy your workloads across the world and near to your consumers. So you have a legacy system and you're looking to migrate. So what options, what approaches do you have in terms of migration? So you can either retire. So this, of course, is during you've accessed your environment, then you've decided, oh, this, I don't need this, I need to decommission it or archive it. So you have applications you can either retire. Then you can also, once you've accessed your legacy applications and your legacy systems, you can decide I need to retain. So you might actually need to retain some applications due to compliance, data compliance, future, or it's just an idle system. It's a slow system that is rarely used. Then you can also refactor. So I remember Chance mentioning this, where you are looking at how do I take advantage of the cloud native services. So you have legacy systems, and then after your assessment, you decide I actually need to just refactor, re-architect all this and just take it to the cloud. So let's say you have an application that was running a stack on-prem. You just decide I'm going to fully run it on cloud. And then you can replatform, rehost, relocate, and repurchase. So relocation is where you just move all your workloads to the cloud or from one cloud to another, or repurchase, where you decide, I have some applications, my legacy applications are not working for me, they are end of life, or I don't need to upgrade them. Let me just repurchase some new systems or a third party that's offering similar services or better. So one of the most common ones, of course, is the rehost, where you lift and shift. So I have my applications running on my Oracle stack or my SAP stack or on my SQL stack, then you decide, let me just lift these applications and move them to the cloud. So these are some of the approaches that you can look as you think about moving your legacy systems to the cloud. So what does this journey look like of moving from legacy to cloud? So this journey looks like something like this. So you discover your workloads. So you actually ask yourself, well, what really do I have? What really am I running on-prem? What really am I running for my workloads? And then you assess your workloads and prioritize. And even this time, you also do some sort of mobilization. So what am I moving? What is the priority in moving? And then you determine the migration path. From the previous slide, you decide what is being refactored, what is being rehosted, what is being decommissioned, and the like. And then you do the actual migration. So you migrate your systems to the cloud, then you do a validation. So at this stage, you're doing your stress tests, you're doing your unit tests, you're doing your user acceptance tests, and then you transition. So when you transition, of course, depending on which strategy you've used, you can actually just transition in a day, or you can take a step approach of transition. It also works. Then, of course, now you move to production. So this is, a summary of the journey that you would go through moving your cloud services to your legacy to cloud. So let me just skip that. So actually, AWS provides us with sort of best practices that normally guides both technology experts and business. Most of the time, of course, when we are talking about this, we normally just think about the technology partner or is the one responsible. But actually, as a business, you're also responsible to just ensuring that while you're doing these cloud migrations and while you're shifting, that they're actually in line with these best practices that cloud normally recommend for us. So let me just take you through this one use case for payments processing. So we were approached by one trading company who was banking with actually a couple of banks. So what happened is their biggest challenge is, as you know, most trading companies, their biggest sales channel is actually distribution. So the guys who distribute, the retailers who come pick stuff and go with them outside there to sell, these are your customers, and they have their own customers out there. So what are the challenges that they were facing, especially in terms of payments processing? So instant payments reflection. Someone receives goods in the morning, and then come evening, the sales agent is still calling them, oh, where is the payment? Then fraud prevention, of course, with handling of cash or someone paying for someone else, then fraud becomes an issue. So what was leveraged in terms of cloud so that we got a solution for this use case? So one was infrastructure as a code, where code was used to deploy the whole infrastructure. Another cloud services that were actually leveraged was serverless computing, so event-driven processing of code, and then queuing and API endpoints securely hosted on cloud. So why queuing? It's because of batch transactions. You'll find in the morning you have 80 transactions, but in the evening you have 6,000. So these are some of the services that were leveraged. So what benefits after all this integration of banking services? So actually what the integration does is when a payment is done to the bank or to the financial institution, it's actually securely sent to the cloud, to the endpoints, and then from the endpoints to the cloud, they're actually securely reflected to the traders' invoicing systems. So what were they able to achieve with this? So one, they were able to validate their payments. They were able to log their payments. They were able to monitor their payments. And all this was with the leveraging of cloud services. And then transaction confirmation, that is very key. So now that relationship between the bank and the trader, the bank will confirm the transaction and the trader will also send back the receipt to the bank of confirmation. So what did they do to achieve this? There was a reduced rate of fraud, less handling of cash, very clear transactional monitoring and recording, and also there's an increased customer satisfaction and engagement. So the end users of these trading companies were actually happy, and as he said, the first thing is knowing your customer or what your customer wants. They were actually happy, and they were able to transact and get a confirmation that this transaction is actually valid and it has gone through. And if the transaction is wrong, they don't have to wait the next day because there's actually a validation. So at the point of transaction, there's a validation if it's the transaction is correct or not. So this is a use case on payments processing. Thank you so much for my time. My time is up. I can see Mr. here. Thank you so much.